Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another Thursday night live, Facebook Live, that I am coming to you from Sprucegrove, Alberta, Canada. And I want to share some watercolor technique kind of things that I have done. By any means, I'm no professional at it, but I do enjoy the watercoloring. And I was asked to do that a couple weeks ago when I posed the question. So I decided that I wouldn't leave you stranded. I would try and do something with it. So If you're if you're coming on, please leave me a comment. Let me know that sound is okay, and I will try to monitor things here and see if everything is working. I see name Facebook user. Yes, a reminder because I'm using StreamYard. If you in a group, if you want your name to show, you do have to give StreamYard permission. There's a link at the top of this post that will allow you to do that. You should only have to do it once. Thank you, Carmen. I see, and whoever Facebook user is saying sound is good. So I'm not going to adjust that. And um, let your name be shown if you will, because at the end of the meeting, I do a draw for 5 of my cards that I have here, and I give them away. And your name will show in that list unless you give StreamYard permission. If you're watching on YouTube, you do not have to give permission over there, but your name should still appear. So we'll see how that goes at the end. Hello, Marie. I see you coming on. That's great. Good to see all of you. And Betty from over on YouTube, from very snowy Calgary. Yes, Betty. We had snow here 2 days ago, and it's cool, and um, it's it's going to get colder. I know that, but hey, we're in Alberta, and we know that kind of thing. So, and anybody that's been here knows that. So I see. Oh, okay, Bonnie. Yes, go out and come in again. Click on that link at the top, um, and let's see what happens with that. So while you're all doing that and saying hi to each other, and let us know where you're watching from, I'd like to welcome each and every one of you. I enjoy doing this and sharing with you and trying to read your comments as we're going. Just remember that if I can't get to your answer and can answer it, I will certainly read it later and get back to you there. So I'm going to switch a couple things and let you know again what's happening in this part of the world. And we have our 12 months of Christmas cards classes that the second Thursday of each month. So registration is for this one in November. There will be one more in December. And I do plan on carrying those forward in the new year. I have monthly card club, third Wednesday, and that one next Wednesday. So that one has closed as of yesterday for registration there, but there will be another one. And also our Zoom with Friends class on Fridays. And anyone can join that. Just send me a message or look for the link to that in my emails because I do have a form set up where you could register for that particular class. I do not share the Zoom link publicly, but anyone is welcome to join. Just have to let me know. So that will be good. So let me just get back over here, see if there's anything. Hello, Snowy Prince George. Yes, Wi-Fi is here today. Marie, Carmen from Chicago suburbs, and Joy and Lynn from Wyoming. Welcome, welcome. Okay, I'm going to switch down to my desktop and talk about a few things there. You can see my catalog. I usually do this setup so that I know the camera's looking in the right place. We have our mini catalog that's currently happening. We have our annual catalog that goes until the end of April. I was going to say the end of June, but they keep changing those on us and I can never remember. This one to December. And there is a new mini coming out in January. And I also have in my emails, I have a link where you can request that if you're in Canada and do not already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I would love to help you out with getting a catalog. So just look for that or message me and I would add you to the list. I can order catalogs here in November and they will go out in December so you have them in time to do your shopping in January. So let me know if you have any questions. And as always, there are Stampin' Up! Demonstrators on here with me. Bonnie, I do see your name now, so whatever you did is good. Thank you. So good to know it does work. Right now, the promotion that is happening with Stampin' Up! Is the fitting florets. And it is available from November 1st, so just a couple days ago, to January 4th, this collection. But the stamp set and dies do carry forward into the new mini catalog. They're available at a 10% discount as a bundle. Time limited only is the designer paper, this Christmas set, and these embellishments. And I think I've shown you these before, but I will again because maybe you weren't here, maybe you forgot. Look at these embellishments. Aren't they gorgeous? Flat, so they go through the mail very easily. And they are called gold adhesive backed swirls. They have some great names for these things. This is the stamp set that is only available while supplies last. Some great words. I've seen backgrounds done with this. I've seen just a little Merry Christmas with that. We were talking today about only using part of it from our home, and then you could put two yours on the inside. That one I haven't even put together yet. And the bundle that is carrying forward, and any information you need on those, just let me know, is the frame florets. And Stampin' Up! Has done something that we love. They have also named the dies frame florets. We've been asking for this for a while because most of us can't remember. Does that set go with this or this? So now that they're named the same, we should be able to remember. So the stamp set and dies, and you'll see by this pattern sheet, I guess I'll call it, that I've done, that you can stamp, and there's dies to cut out those stamps. There's also dies to cut these shapes and to cut this oval. This oval comes from the center. This oval comes from the center here. And this oval has just little hearts, which you could say used for shaker cards. I did not save those, but somewhere down the road I may. And this is what the dies look like. So great set. Haven't done much with it yet, so I don't have a lot of samples to show you. I will show you the paper quickly because it is gorgeous, and because it is only while supplies last. If you happen to have an interest in it, order it now. I think I'll be ordering some more here very shortly because I'm going to use it for my my mini calendars I'm making as gifts for Christmas. So we have patterns basically on one side, and then more of a plain, it's not really plain, but you know what I mean, on the other side. And the colors included are, because I don't have that cheat sheet ready either, Balmy Blue, Blushing Bride, Crushed Curry, Evening Evergreen, Night of Navy, Polished Pink, and Soft Succulent. And the other thing that is really, well, there's a couple things. Gorgeous, gorgeous flowers. Love this one. But then, as most of you know, I like blue. And this one, I've seen a lot of people coloring the berries in red and using them for holly berries. And this one, if you look at this particular die, and I find the right one, it does cut out one of the flowers. This one, I do believe. Anyway, like I say, I haven't played, well, maybe this one? Haven't played with it enough to know, but I know it does cut out one of them on that sheet. So otherwise, fussy cutting or even just using it in pieces is a great way to use it. So hello from Winnipeg. Hello, Judy, Marie. Good to see you there. Other Facebook user, I do see one says hello from Winnipeg. If you would like to have your name appear and be in the draw at the end of tonight's Facebook Live, please go to where this event was scheduled, and there is a link to StreamYard to give permission to have your name show. Otherwise, it will just come up Facebook user on here, and I will not be able to see your name in the draw part of it afterwards. So please do that if you'd like. Okay, I have all kinds of things I want to share with you tonight. I decided to do poppies for my watercolor samples because we have Remembrance Day coming, and which reminds me, usually have a question for you. And my question here today is, we all survived Halloween because we're all here, right? What is next on your agenda? I know I've seen some posts already of people decorating for Christmas already. And for me, that's too soon for a couple reasons. One of the main ones being that Remembrance Day is very important to me. My grandfather, my uncle, my brother all served in the forces. And we make sure that we do watch the Remembrance Day services and are very thankful for what they did for us. So we do not do anything as far as Christmas until even later than that, because my husband's birthday is November 16th. So we kind of wait till after November 16th. We have enough birthday issues when it comes to Christmas because our grandson was born on Christmas Day. So we always celebrate Christmas at noon and his birthday at supper time kind of thing. So that's kind of our rules in our house. But tell us, let everybody know, share, what do you do? Do you go right from Halloween into Christmas? I know those of you watching from the US, I know your Thanksgiving hasn't happened yet, where ours has. So we're kind of over that piece. But anyway, just thought I would ask you that question as we're going. And I'm going to create a card using black Poppy Parade white shimmer paper, which I don't know if you can see it there, but it is shimmer paper, similar to this one. Okay, I like the shimmer. This one I did not use shimmer paper, but I am tonight with what I want to show you. And I want to show you how I did this. So I'm going to do a little bit of embossing. Then I have some other samples to show you. And one that I wanted to get to and I didn't. And I'm going to work on that while you're here with me. So to do the stamping for this one, I'm going to do it just a little bit different. And use my Stamparatus because I want to stamp. Oh, goodness, I have a lot of stuff happening here. Okay, I usually put a case underneath here to hold it level. And I have black so I can see my screen. And I'm going to lay my cardstock here. No, don't want that ink pad. I want my Versamark, which I do keep with my embossing buddy, so I remember to use it. And I'm going to, even though it's white, I'm just going to use my embossing buddy on there. Trying to read. Yes, the stores are full of Christmas. I realize that. Yeah. Not that we're out in the stores very often, but it seems such a shame. Although I will give the local stores credit here that they do have poppies all over the place, so that's a good thing. So I'm going to use Versamark on my poppy image, and I'm going to I'm going to stamp each corner of this card so that we have something to color with our water markers. When you go to do watercoloring, there are a number, all kinds of information on YouTube and some on Facebook, lots of blogs of how to do it. Some more watery, I'm going to call it, than what I like. And I'll show you a couple that I tried like that when we get to the end. I don't profess to be an artist by any means of doing this kind of thing, but like I said, I did have a request and I wanted to let you know what I know with it. So I'm stamping 4, like in each corner, and then I have my gold embossing powder. You wouldn't believe the mess I have as well. So I keep my embossing powder just in a case like this. We do have a new tool now. It is the embossing tray, which comes with this brush and an embossing buddy. But I've had this way for ages, so I'm just going to continue using it for now. So once I've got the Versamark on there, I can ink up. I've inked it up. I can add my gold embossing powder, and I will use the brush just to get some little pieces like that. Put this away before I turn on the heat tool. The other night, I don't know what I did when I was doing this, but I had embossing everywhere. So it might get a little noisy, so chat amongst yourselves. And I want to show you again the wow factor when you go to emboss, because it was one of the first things I saw with card making, and it still wows me. Can you see that? I'll get a little closer. You just hold the heat tool until it starts to melt, and it's giving me an outline that I'm going to color inside. This particular stamp set does not have dies to go with it. So on the one card that I'll show you in a few minutes, I custom cut this particular image, which wasn't too difficult because it's quite straight lines. Well, they're curved, but they're straight. You know what I mean? So this is one of the techniques you can do. And you could just leave it like this. You could do actually what would look really sharp, I think, would be doing something like this with gold on perhaps a black cardstock. So then what I did was I have my congratulations on here because for me, this is going to be I needed some anniversary cards. And so that's what you can do with the Stamparatus is set things up beforehand. That one looks like it's a little bit over. And do your testing before you stamp. And then, especially with black, we found a couple of weeks ago when I did the Scotty dog, we found that a solid image like that, we really had to stamp it more than once. So I'm going to just do it one more time. And you'll notice, I don't know if you can see, but I leave my lid of my stamp case upside down here, so it's easy to set that back in there when I'm finished with it. So there is my layer. Could have done that in gold as well. Would have been a little bit more steps, but that's okay. When you have the equipment out, you might as well use it. So then I'm going to take, and here I just have my regular 11 by 4 1/4, a white layer for inside, a Poppy Parade color for here, and I'm going to have this end up on here. And I'm not going to bore you with coloring all of it, but I want to show you what you can get with the markers or the water painters. They are on page 125 of the catalog. You get 3 of them. So you get a small, a large, and then you get a wider tipped one. I've used them a bit. Thought it was interesting. I did my sample. I don't know if you can see. It's kind of pink in here. Obviously, I didn't clean it enough from using the Poppy Parade, and it went up like sucked it up into the barrel of it. So to do this, I like to use, again, with our older stamp pads, you can push them, and when you open them, you have color. And I did that with the older ones. Our newer ones, it's harder to do that. So what I like to do is take a block and just stamp it in the ink, and then you've got color on it. To do your coloring, and I'm going to use the same one I did, what I marked large. A trick when you buy it, when you have these, they don't turn like we would normally turn something closed. They've got what would it would be a left-hand thread, I guess. They have a word on here that says push, so you push on that until you have liquid coming out. So you can have as little or as much water as you want. And when you go to use it in your ink, you can see as I'm squeezing it, there's more and more water coming. And once you've got your outline done like this, it's very easy to just add color. And I tried really hard not to go outside the lines. If you have a lot of water on it, you can actually take it and tip it, and it will run. The other thing I found was that you can color it and color right over the gold. It doesn't hurt it once you've done the embossing. Let it dry, and then you can come back in, and I'll show you because I have a piece like that. Come back in and actually add more water and move it more. Okay, so I will, don't see many questions. Yes, Bonnie, using the block does work really well. Works well with like this or with your ink refills if you put daubs of ink. So then if I wanted to do, try and keep my head out, but if you wanted to do it darker, you wouldn't squeeze as much water. Okay, and you can, so I could do just one flower, which is what I did on one of the cards. That's a little bit dark for me. I can go back and I can actually wet it, move it a little bit. When you suggestion is to use watercolor paper or this shimmer paper because it's a little bit better than our basic white for using water on it. The watercolor paper has a finish on it. I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like a matte, like a, if you can see any bit of that, but it's thicker for one thing. No, Bonnie, just answers your question. I'm not using watercolor paper. I am using for this, I'm using shimmer paper, shimmer white, which works well. I do have some samples with watercolor paper. And the watercolor paper is on page 140, 1225 for 10 sheets, this size, which is the 5x7. You can see you can keep all the little pieces and do quite a bit with it. So I'm not going to bore you with coloring all of that because, and then to clean your brush, I would, or should have, in this case, but if you run it on your paper towel or your hand or whatever until it comes clean like that, it shouldn't run the color up the barrel like that one did. So I will finish that one later. And through the magic of television, I have this one that's finished. And I won't lay that one, but stick my fingers in it. So I'm going to just put my card together as usual. These are different than the blending pens. Yes, they are, Ines. These are painters that have a tube. I'll just show you that you can take apart and fill with water, or you can fill them with alcohol if you're going to do some of that alcohol painting that we had done a while ago, and the water can stay in them. I don't see any reason why you would have to empty them out. But I would certainly, if you're going to put alcohol in them, be sure that you mark it as such so you don't grab the wrong thing. When you want water, you've got alcohol and vice versa. I'm going to, you can see on this one that I did earlier, some of it's a little darker, which is fine. I like it. So that's the way I'm going to leave it. I am going to, though, because it's kind of warped, I'm going to use liquid glue on it, and then I'm going to use dimensionals on the poppy color. You'll see also it does not come through the back. If you were using stamping blends, it would come through the back. So when it was requested to do watercoloring, I assumed, and I guess maybe I should have asked those people, that this was kind of the thing you were looking for. It wasn't using blends, which we can do some other time. It wasn't using markers. They look orangish. These, maybe because I didn't make them as dark as they should be, Linus. They certainly go with the color of the background, but I'll show you a few other samples that I do have, and I've got another one that I want to try. Like I said, while you're here with me, because I thought of it later this afternoon, and I thought, oh, we should have tried that. So I'm going to try that one too. And that is doing the Scotty dog. I'm going to color with gray with the wider brush, and then just punch them out and see if we can get kind of a mottled fur looking finish to that one. So there would be your card. You could do like this one. So this is the first one I did, and it's done basically the same thing, only here I took my finer brush, the small one, and just kept dipping it in the ink, and you can see how it's all different shades because it was different. I didn't make sure it was all the same. The Always Remember is the only Remembrance Day stamp that I have, and that comes out of this set. Use this set a lot for lots of, obviously, different greetings. So I did that, and then this is the one that I did cut out, and it's done on watercolor paper. So I don't know if you can see. I can't tell in the camera, but it's got kind of a rough surface. I also used my marker and did that where you take it and tap it like this to put some splatters on the back of it, because to me it was just too white. And this stamp, just so you're, in case you're wondering, the green I did with the water painters is this stamp, and I wanted just the stems and then attach this over top. And I did curl it a little bit. But you can see on this one, this is, I did on watercolor paper because you can see the rough surface. And it's got, to me, it's got water stains on it. So let's take, I'm going to take that one again because I know the water's down there. And see if I can move that just a little bit. Probably would be better to squeeze a lot of water onto a block. And then, because to me that left line like water stains, like we used to have on the kitchen floor, that kind of thing. So it will, you can do many layers. And if you want it darker, like I know somebody mentioned that it was orange, you could certainly go over it again and again and again. But I wanted to show you that. And because it's watercolor paper, adding more water doesn't really damage it. Okay, so I'll just, you get the idea? I'm looking for comments there. I see Tammy, Karen. Karen with the border. Karen, you must have the stamp set and have trouble with that border. I do. So thank you. So that gives you an idea of that. And again, I should clean my brush because otherwise I'll have pink water, which I do. So let's just set that aside. So that was my first card. This one is the one we'll be giving next week. And here are a few more done a little bit different. So this one is done with a block. You can see it's that size. Basically, what I did with that one, and I can probably show you, as long as I have a piece of paper here. Piece of paper here. I've got ink on the block. I've got a water spritzer, which is a little different. It has a spray nozzle, and most of us put an arrow on it so we're spraying away from our face, and I don't want it on those. So I took my ink on there, stamped it in the stamp pad, and spritzed it. And you can see the water moves round and round and round. Then all you do is stamp it, and it will give you a background. And then none of them will be the same. Clean my stamp at the same time here on my block. So that is how I did this card. 3 different colors, and then again I used that border stamp, just a thank you out of a different set. So just showing you that you do not have to use the same set all the time. Okay, so another technique there. Then I found one where they were doing a background, and this is on watercolor paper. Sorry, just reading minus. Yes, that is just water. Just water in everything I'm doing here. Did a background just with, again, with my painter, just dipped in the ink. And these are the 3 colors that I had. Mossy Meadow, So Saffron, and Soft Suede. And they kind of got mixed together, but I didn't care. I was doing the background. Then I stamped the image in black and put clear embossing powder on it, so it's shiny. Again, I don't know if you can see that. Then when I went to mount it on soft suede and white card base, it was just too white for me, so I just used a stamp out of this particular set again, just for background. So that is my image, that is my background. Then I came along to that new set that I just showed you with the oval. And this one again is on watercolor paper. And what the lady was doing here was, with the Stamparatus, she stamped her image. No, she inked up her image with sponge daubers. Then she sprayed the image, so the stamp, and put it on the paper. And to me, it's a bit too much water, but I wanted to show you that it's possible if you like the whole mottled background. And then cleaned her stamp, and then she stamped it in black and put the white, no, the clear embossing powder on it, so it is shiny. And I just, because I cut it out in an oval, I wanted to use both pieces and just show you how that turned out. Then, as I was getting my cards ready for November from my bin that's upstairs, I came across this card, and I thought, because I'm doing watercolor, I'm going to show you this one too. So this one I did a long time ago. I don't think this stamp set's even current anymore. But what I did was I masked off this area, did my coloring with, and I don't even think we had these painters at that time, but just with a brush in the different colors, let it dry, and then stamped it with a darker color. So you can do all kinds of things with this technique. So hopefully that has given you some ideas. Now, the piece I wanted to try, just because I want to see if we can do a half-decent Scotty dog. I've got a gray, I've got my wide, if I've got enough water in there. Going to see. Oh, should have done this before. Sorry, guys. There, water. And if I pick up my gray, you see, and this is very similar to this one. You can make it as light or as dark or whatever. And just a minute, I can, through the power of my drawer being right here, I'll just get more ink on there. And the wider brush for doing something like this, if you wanted to do background, that would certainly be what you would want. And again, like I say, dark, let it dry, more on, whatever. And my idea was then I would take my, which way I want them? I think I want them this way. And see a different looking Scotty dog again. It would also be different if you were to do it on the gray paper as well. So lots of different options for doing any of that. Okay, I think I've got a couple show and tells to show you afterwards, but I think that's all I had for this. Any other questions or comments, please be sure and share. And watching on YouTube, please like my channel. If you are going to make some of these, I'd love to have you share them so that we can all see them. I think, like I say, there's lots of possibilities in that gamut. And to me, like I say, it really did mean a lot by doing something for Remembrance Day. I know it's not until after we do class next week, but anyway, that is it for that. Okay, things to show you. First of all, a little bit of bragging. Got this in the mail last week. It is my pin for being a demonstrator for 15 years. Thank you to each and every one of you for coming along on this journey with me. I'm having a great time, and I hope you are too. I, for Halloween, received this from Linda, and it's a shaker tag with the little witch's hat, with the Halloween paper, a little gift bag, and it did have chocolate bars in it. Not anymore. Nope, they're gone. We enjoyed them, Linda. Thank you. A couple of cards. This one I received from Marie, my friend in Saskatchewan. Isn't that gorgeous? And look what she did in the envelope. Great coloring, Marie. And I'm not sure I did talk to you. I can't remember if you said that was with blends or markers, but it doesn't matter. It's a beautiful card and lots of writing and whatever inside, so appreciate that. And last but not least is the card that Bonnie taught us to make last week in our Zoom with friends, and it is this zigzag. She had put it this way, but my greeting didn't look good that way, so I did mine the other way. So a great design. May end up showing you that one on Facebook Live at some time too, because not everybody's in our Zoom with Friends class. And it would be good to know, right? So let me know if you're interested in that. And now I'm going to, first of all, tell you who won last week's card, which is this one. I take everybody's name and comment, whether it's on here, whether it's after the fact watching the replay or on YouTube, put them in a wheel of names that I do one by one. And the winner for that one is Kim M. So Kim, if you would please send me your address, I will mail it. And that's what's going to happen with this one for next week. And now I am going to go to share my screen. Just a minute to figure that out. Screen share. Giveaway 2. And you should be able to see this. So it says there are 12 in there. I am going to draw 5 cards, and as Kathy Jean found out last week, You do have a chance of winning more than once, but that's the luck of the draw. So let's give the wheel a spin. And thank you all for joining me. And winner is Linus. Okay. Let's go for number 2. And please keep commenting, sharing with each other. That's what this, that's Tammy. I know that. Even though that isn't quite how you say it, but I love seeing all of you on here, and I really do appreciate you sharing an evening with me. And please, as always, let me know if there's any particular thing. Karen Garner, thank you. And I will try and share it with you. I am always looking for neat things to learn and to share. And Karen, one of the last cards you sent me, I want to learn how to do that. It's kind of a half-cut one, so I'll be in touch with you for that one. Hey, Kathy, you won again. Good job. And we have Marie. Look at that. I got 5 different ones this time. Way to go, everyone. So thank you for joining me. And whoops, I was going to say, where did everybody go? Okay, somebody's asking. Let me see if I can get this. Do I have to click on StreamYard every time? I have once, but I never see the name. Supposedly, it's only supposed to be once, but as Bonnie found out last week and at the start of this week, her name was not showing, so she went out and did it again. The other thing that I would like to let you know on this is that for some reason, computer tech-wise, it's best if you can do it on a computer, or if you could only have an iPad, do not use the app, but go into a browser and connect to Facebook, and then go through StreamYard that way. And it does work, because I had to do it for one of my groups that I was watching. And it only works when I'm on a group. And the main reason I'm doing a group is when I was doing a group and my page, which may sound like gibberish to all of you, some people were on the page, some were on the group, they couldn't see each other's comments. We want to be a community. We want to be all in one place. So I have decided to do it on the group, and we'll just work through this. If you can't get your name to show and you want to do a private one-on-one with me, just let me know. I did that with Ines. Finally got it working with Ines. So anyway, that's all I have for you for tonight. Thank you again for joining me. Have a great weekend, and see you next week. Bye now.